Good morning, class. In today's class, we are going to discuss regarding the operators. So we already had some introduction regarding these operators. First we have unary operators, binary operators, and ternary operators. That means unary operator means we'll be having single operand. Operand in the sense your variable may be A or B or C like that. Okay, where it is to have some number of bits to it. Okay, so that is unary operator. If your operation is based on a single operand, it is called as a unary operator. It doesn't generally everyone is to think that if there is only one operator symbol, then we call it as unary operator. It's not true. It is based upon the number of operands only. That is called as, if it is of one, it is with respect to single operand, it is called as an unary operator. Okay, for example, you can see in the table. So this is the this will be generally used, this logical negation will be used for the scalars. If you want, that means for scalars in the sense it will be of only single bit, right? Okay, it will be of single bit only. That means if your bit is 0, it will be 1. If your bit is 1, it will be 0, right? That is called as logical negation, and it is negation, and it will be used only for a single scalar. If you if you have a vector, if A is a vector for you, and you want the negation for it, so we use this symbol. Okay, we use this symbol for bitwise negotiation. That means if you have more number of bits also, it's not a problem, and it will be give the output by negation, right? So this can be used for both the scalars and vectors. So generally we will not use this as for we will be using only this. Why? Because it will be working for both, right? Scalars and vectors. And we also have this and symbol, a reduction and. Okay, a reduction and, it is an unary operator, right? Reduction and, it will be generally used before a it will be generally used before a single operand. Okay, so this is reduction NAND, this is reduction OR, reduction NOR, reduction XOR, this is reduction XNOR. What does it mean? What it is doing is, if you have a 4 bits, that is 3 down to 0, it will be performing the operation between. So if your input value is A, and if you write and A means what it is going to do is, the bits from the least significant bit and next to it, the least significant bit next to the least significant bit will be left of that least significant bit. It will be performing the AND operation between the last 2 bits, and you will get a result, and that result will be compared with the other bit, right, which is next to the left bit, what we have seen previously. That means, for example, if your A is of 3 down to 0, for example, that means a 4 bit. That means A of 3, A of 2, A of 1, and A of 0. If you have like that, there will be AND operation. A reduction AND means it will be performing AND operation between the A of 0 and A of 1. You will get one result, and after that it will be performing an AND operation with the other ones, right? A of 2, like that. There is just like reduction and. We will not use this concept mostly. Reduction and rejection, NAND, NOR, or this type of concepts we are almost not using. If you use this also, it will be yielding a single bit output only. Okay, at last we will be get only one output, as we are performing the operation on the 4 bits. At last we will be getting only single bit only output. Not only this unary operators, we also had 2 more. the operators plus and the minus. This is just to change the sign of that particular real number. Okay. So if you want to, if you use this operator, that is to change the sign. Okay. Generally, if I write minus before any operand, means you are willing to change the sign of the particular number. Okay. Now we have the binary operators. Okay. Binary operator means it will be operated between two operands, right? Say A is one operand and B is one operand. So in between the both, I will be using this binary operators, right? So in this binary operators, we have different types of uh, groups. In that first group is generally arithmetic operator. Okay, arithmetic operator. So one thing throughout this discussion of the binary operators, we have to keep one thing in. If you have zeros and ones, it's not a problem for you. If at all inputs, if you have x or z values, the value of output will be x only. Okay, we are not going to use output in the output. We are not going to use z, right? So that thing we'll see. These arithmetic operators are similar to that of our C language operators. Okay. Okay. So see the operators what we use. This is the multiplication. So for that we use star. This is the division. Okay. This symbol, what is this? We use. So if you use this backslash symbol, it is meant for producing of the coefficient. Okay. That means it is going to forget the decimal part and it is going to give you only the uh, decimal part. That means after the decimal point, if you have any units, it is going to, it is not, it is neglecting it and it is going to give only the positive part of it, right? Okay. So we are performing a division. Okay. And the result is x, the denominator is 0. Okay, just it is a remark only. What we want to know here is you have to know the difference between this and this. Okay, we are using this symbol for division, we are calling this one for the modulus. Modulus means it is going to give you the remainder value. Okay, so you can see clearly, you can observe the difference. We'll see the example here. We have a table for it also. Okay, so this is for the addition symbol, right? Arithmetic operations means it has to do, if I use plus, that means it has to perform the AND operation. Sorry, addition among the bits. Addition among the bits. If I use plus symbol, it has to perform subtraction. If I use minus between the two operands. So let me you see this table now. You can understand what's the difference between using of percentage and the general division, right? So generally, so if I write a by b means it is going to give a backslash b means it is going to give you the coefficient, and if I write a percentage b means it is going to give remainder, right? See here, it's 15 percentage b. If I don't mention it, it will be automatically taken as a by what you say 15 is automatically taking as a decimal, right? So 5 percentage b means it has to produce a remainder, right? So 5, so 15 is perfectly divided by 5. 15 is perfectly divided by 5. Generally 5 threes are 15. So automatically we are going to get a remainder as 0. That is the result it is going to give, right? So next you can see 14 percentage 5. So it has to give you the remainder, right? We can't, that means the while we are doing, we can't keep decimal point and adding one more zero, this type of concept is not allowed here, right? Just you have to give, since it is a modulus, what we have to do is 5 is 5 times of 2 is 10, right? It is leaving a remainder of 4 there. So its answer is 4. So here it's a 4-bit hexadecimal number, 4-bit hexadecimal number. All the 4 bits will be, here will be F, right? Okay, all the 4 bits will be F, and 5 is a decimal number here. We want to get a remainder for the both. So you see here, and okay, this is the other one here, F, and this is E. So to observe the difference, we can see here. In the hexadecimal, F is nothing but 15, right? So the number 4HF and 4HC in the hexa format with the decimal values of, this is the decimal value 15. That is, this one is the decimal value 15, and this is the decimal value for 14, right? But the denominator 5 is a decimal number, right? Denominator 5 is a decimal number. So we can't divide one if one number is in hexa format and if other number is in the decimal format, we can't divide. So we are converting this into a decimal one, and we are dividing with the 5. So since it is 15 and this is 5, the percentage, it is leaving a remainder of 0. Here also we have seen that symbol, right? Now here you can see this is decimal 14% is 5, the same thing. So here we get value as 4, which is a remainder, right? Now you see here 6, the 6-bit number, and it's octal, and the value is 15, right? So you see here it's an octal number 15. It's an octal number. It's with a decimal value of 13, right? If this is the indication of number 13 in decimal, right? The decimal number for this one will be 13. 13% 5. So 5 times 2, 5 2s are 10. By 2 so it is leaving a remainder of 3, right there. So it's leaving a remainder of 3. Okay. Now we can, when you want to decide
मीन्स यहाँ जाए ना शोइंग करते हैं तिथु.
okay, generally when we are in the flow, we forget that it is an octal number, and we may think this one as a decimal number automatically, and we may think that it's as a perfectly divisible, and we may think that remainder will be 0, but you have to observe properly. It's a 6-bit octal number, so its value is 15, right? Octal 15 will be generally equal to 13 decimal, right? So you will be getting a remainder of 3. Okay, here this you have to write for the first one only, the symbol minus, right? This decides the output what we get will be having that this symbol. You can't simply write your negative symbol here. If it is like that in your coding, it is illegal form, right? It is in the illegal form. So now you came to know what is the difference between the arithmetic operators, okay, arithmetic operators, and how where you have to use and what's the meaning of each symbol. Okay, addition, subtraction, everything is similar only. Bitwise addition, bitwise subtractions, like that only. Okay, division, you have to know detailedly what is this and what is this. Okay, you came to know if you use this, it is leaving a, it is giving some, you will get the value of remainder as the output. If you use this, you will be getting coefficient as your output, right? And the uses of this binary operator for addition. So what you have to observe here, an integer division, the fractional part of the result is truncated and ignored, right? With integer division, fractional part is removed, right? That means when we are when we are using this, okay, integral division, right? Integer division, we are calling it as integer division. This one as modulus, right? Okay, integer division, right? So if you have operand A and operand B, in A or B, if you find anywhere X or Z in the bits, your result will be taking a value of X only. Okay, in the output at that particular bit, its value will be X. Not only that, if any of the bits, if any bit of an operand is X or Z, in the arithmetic operation, the result takes a X value. Okay, so that means we are performing for arithmetic operations only on the perfect numbers only, not with X and Z bits. So if the first operand of the modulus operator is negative, the result is also a negative number. That thing only we have seen in the last but one of the table. Okay. So then we also have these logical operators. Okay, we also have the logical operators. Generally, we have two logical operators, and it is going to, in both the cases, the results of the operands will be a single bit. That will be either 0 or 1, either true or false only. Okay, so you can see here with the help of a table. So this is the table for this logical operator. This is the logical AND. So if you use single, it is different. This is logical operator. If you use 2 times, means same symbols what we have used in the basic operations. That is this. This is only for unary operators. If you use single, it is an unary operator. That is reduction AND. This is a reduction NAND. Okay, not using with AND is nothing but NAND. That is reduction NAND. Okay. Now here you have this is for the logical AND. This is the logical OR. Logical OR. It is going to produce single bit as an output, right? Logical AND and logical OR. Okay. It is going to produce either our outputs as either 0 or 1. So generally, the relational operators treats both the operands as a binary numbers and compares them. Okay, it will be comparing them, and the result will be either 1 if it is a true, means 1, and it will be 0 if that means false, right? In either of the operands, if there is X or Z, automatically the result will be unknown, that is Z, sorry, X. Okay, we will not be using this Z in the output, right? Okay, now we have relational operators. Sorry, so this is the logical operator. Now we also have the relational operator, right? What's the relational operator? Sorry, this is the logical operator. Okay. This is the relational operator table, right? This relational operator is just we have a greater than symbol, and this is less than symbol, greater than equal, greater than or equal, and this is less than or equal. The output will be only a single one. Okay, output will be a single one, single bit output only. That means if I use in between A and B, if I use greater than symbol, A greater than B, if I write like that, that means A may be of 4 bits and B may be of 4 bits. I want to compare the both. Okay, what will be the result if it is greater than, if A is greater than B, automatically the result output if it is C, means C is going to be, if it is greater, it is going to be 1. If it is not, it is going to be 0. Okay, less than, if A is less than B, if I write relational of the relation on the output C will be generally, if A is less than B, only it will be producing an output of 1. If not, it is 0. Greater than or equal, if it may be greater or it may be equal, no problem. Now if A is greater than and or equal to B, automatically the result will be 1. If not, it is going to be 0. Similarly for less than or equal also, right? So this is the relational operators, right? So logical operators we have already seen. We have logical operators as double and double. That means just as mark, right? What mark it is? I can't say this one. Two parallel lines, parallel symbol, right? We have used this symbol for indication of parallel. Okay. So equality operators also. We have equality operators. We have 4 types of equality operators. So this is double equal. If you write equal and equal, that is double equal, 2 consecutive equal symbols. It is to compare. It is bitwise comparison of 2 operands. Okay. If A is of 4 bit means A of 3, A of 2, A of 1, A of 0. B is of 4 bits means B of 3, B of 2, B of 1, B of 0. That means it will B of 0 will be compared. A of 0 will be compared with B of 0 and A of 1 will be compared with B of 1 and A of 2 will be compared with the B of 2 and A of 3 will be compared with the B of 3. Okay, and if I write only 2 equals, in this case, if any of the bits, that is from A of 3 to A of 0 or from B of 3 to B of 0, if any of the bits is of x or z values, the output will be x. Okay, it's not going to give perfect output result. Okay, that means, for example, so if A of 0, A of 3, A of 2, A of 1 and A of 0 we have. On the same fashion, B of 3, B of 2, B of 1, B of 0 we have. Comparing bitwise, it will be comparing
next
bitwise.
model equal to model A model.
So see here, we will be comparing these bits A of 3 down to A of 0, A of 3, B of 3 down to B of 0. We will be comparing. If the inputs are either 0 or 1, we will be comparing it. Okay. If both the bits are equal, then the result will be 1. Okay. Else the result will be 0. And if either of the operand x or z, then the result will be x only. Okay. So that means A will be having 4 bits, B will be having 4 bits, and C also will be having 4 bits. And there will be bitwise comparison. A of 0 will be compared with the B of 0. If it is equal, then we write C of 0 as 1. If not equal, we are writing C of 0 as 0. Okay, and here if any of the other bit is say A of 2 is say x or z, then to compare with B of B of 2, that may be 1 also, no problem, but we will be writing in the C of 2 as x only. Okay, that is called as bitwise comparison, right? Here not equal, here the operand what we are using is not equal. If it is not mismatch only, that is if C of 0, sorry, that means if A of 0 is not equal to that of B of 0, then there at that case we will be writing the output C of 0 as 1. Okay. So if in any other case, it's if the value in any of the operands is X or Z, and the other operand may be having some 1 or 0, okay, there may be mismatch, but we are giving a value of X there as an output, right? Now what is the difference, what is this triple equal, right? A symbol comprises of 3 consecutive equal signs. If I use like this, now in my operands I can have the values as X or Z. Okay, I can have the values as X or Z. That means if A of 0 is X and B of 0 is also X, it is going to it is going to give as 1. If A of 0 is some 1 and B of 0 is some X, it is going to be 0. What we can identify the difference between this double equal and triple equal? This did not allow us to use X or Z. We are not going to compare in the case of X and Z, X or Z in the input operands. Okay, for those we have given an result of X, but now what I am doing is I am not in my result there will not be X. The total output will be either 1 or 0 only. In my output there will not be X, right? There will not be bit X. That means output should be either 0 or 1 only. So previously, if any of the one in one bit, if in the operand A or in the operand B, if any of the bit is X or Z, we have resulted in the corresponding bit in the C X. Now I am not going to give the value as X. Now I am comparing since I have used this symbol. Okay. Now you see the other symbol, not double equal, the same fashion, right? Right, it will be, now it is allowed to compare with the X with X or X with Z with Z, or else X with some other value. Here also we are not leaving our output in the Z. So my output should be only these bits, either 0 or 1 bits only. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, that's the equality operators. 4 we have. Next, bitwise logical operators. Okay, bitwise logical operators. This is the bitwise logical operators. This is the one we do, and this is for and. A reduction and is similar to that of general and this is or and X or, this is X nor. Okay, so you have the tables where what we have studied in our previous classes, right? In the STLD, for 0 0 the output is 0, for 0 1 it is, for 0 1 it is and, so it is 0, for 0 and X it is 0. Okay, 1 0 is, since it's and, right? Oh sorry, actually there is a mistake in here, right? So this, here it is 1 and here it is 0. How can it will be 1? It is 0 here, but here it is 1 and here it is 1. It should be 1 here, right? So one bit is X, sorry, one bit is 1 and another bit is X. So the result will be unknown for that. Okay. So one value is X and the other value is 0. For X and 0, here it is mentioning as 0. For 1 and X, it is mentioned as, actually it should also be X only. Okay, here it should be X, right? X with 0 will be generally X. Sorry, since it is and, we clearly know that one bit is 0. So and will be working, giving result as when only when both the input bits are 1 only. So here clearly for us it is known that one bit is 0 already, so automatically it will be 0. For x and 1 it will be x, for x and x it will be x, right? So for others we can see there. Okay, so this is bitwise logical operators, right? Here in this case we have not used z in the input values. We have treated that z also as x value. Okay, then we have shift operators. We have two shift operators, one is right shift and other one is the left shift. Generally, as in the unary operators, we will be using this before the operand only. Okay, we will be using this shift operators before the operand only. And if I write something to the right side of this shift operator here or else here, if I write some scalar value, that means that I want to shift. Generally, we will be using this side. That means in the left side of the operand, we will be using some a that may be consisting of 4 bits or 6 bits or 8 bits, whatever it may be. If I write a value, that means I want to shift it right by that many number of bits, and whatever the bits after rotating, that means after shifting, some of the positions will be vacant. That vacant bits will be filled with zeros. Here you see the vacant positions created will be filled with zeros. See here. See, I may give here. So this is the operand. Okay, this is the operand for shifting right. These things we have already seen, I think, in the previous C language or else VHDL, right? This is shifting right. Okay, this is shifting left. But if I write like this, oh sorry. So first I will be writing the operand, then I write the operator, and I write this B. What does this mean? I want to a set of bits representing A are shifted right repeatedly by B times. Okay, we want to shift B times. A has to be shifted. So this is indicating to the right shift, right? Okay, shifted right repeatedly. How many times? B number of times. Okay, A followed by this. B means it's representing a set of bits representing A are shifting left repeatedly by B number of times. Okay, so that is the shifting operation. Then we have ternary operator. Ternary operator will be having two operators and three operands. Okay, so Verilog has only one ternary operator. Generally, it will be conditional operator. This is a conditional operator. It checks the condition first and does a branching. Okay, this will be generally the condition. Okay, here we will be having the condition, and if it is true, the value which is present in the B will be going to this one. If it is false, the value of C will be going to this, right? So this conditional operator is made use of two operands, that will be question mark with semicolon, right? See how we have to use this. So if remember this, A, capital A question mark, B colon C, just remember this. See here, first A is evaluated first. That means if it is having some expression, it will be evaluated first. If A is becoming true, now B will be evaluated. Okay, I may write a single value also there. That means a single bit, either 0 or 1 or X or Z. Okay, if A is false, C will be evaluated. Okay, first what we are doing, first we are evaluating the condition A. If it is evaluated and if we get a good result, that is if it true, if it is we are getting a true result, B is evaluated. and if not means C will be evaluated. Okay. First A will be evaluated, and then if A is true, then B will be evaluated. If A is false, then C will be evaluated. Okay. So in sometimes A will be if A is evaluated, it gives an ambiguous results. Ambiguous results means that may where A may not be either 0 or 1. It may lead to some ambiguous results. Okay. What we will do? That means A is not going to get a result of either 0 or 1. Then what we have to do is we have to go with we have to evaluate both B and C also at a time. Okay. Both B and C has to be evaluated. So then they are combined on bit by bit basis to form the resultant bit stream. Okay, they will be combined bit by bit and form the resultant bit stream. So this resultant stream will be having 0 if the corresponding bits of B and C are 0. See here. So generally, in the case of small b and small c also, we may have some expressions. And finally, after evaluating those expressions, we may get a result in the bits format. Maybe in the 4 bits or a single bit or 2 bits, whatever it may be. If you want to get a final result, so if A is evaluated and we got an ambiguous result, then both B and C will be evaluated. Okay, then they are combined on a bit by bit basis to form the resultant bit stream. How can you get this resultant bit stream? The resultant bit stream can be have the following 3 possible values. That means it will be getting 0 if the corresponding bits of B and C are 0. That means corresponding bits of B and C means if B of 0 is 0 and C of 0 is 0, automatically the resultant will be also have 0 there. And if B of 1 is 1 and C of 1 is 1, automatically the result will also have a value of 1. If not, that means if A of 0 will be same as B of, C of 0, automatically it is going to produce 0. If we have A of 2 or A of 2 compared with C of 2, if it is also 1 means it is going to give 1. That means if they both match only, it is going to produce same value as an output. If not, in all other cases, it is going to give the result as X. Okay. Do you understand now? So we have condition like this. We have condition like this, and if A is evaluated as true, then B will be executed. If A is evaluated as false, then C will be executed. When we evaluate A, if we have an ambiguous results which we can't identify either 0 or 1, that means true or false, then we have to evaluate B and C. While we evaluate B and C, for the result of the result bits will be generated based on this condition. That means if A of B, if C of 0 is 0, C of 0 is 0 and B of 0 is 0, it will be giving 1. That means for 1 1 it is going to give 1, for 0 0 it is going to give 0, for 0 or 1 or 1 or 0, that means for all other cases it is going to give the value as X in the result, right? Okay. So we can, this is very, very important. Okay, this is very, very important. We closed by today this topic. Okay, see here. So assign, we are using an assign operator, and y is equal to w question mark x colon z. That means will be evaluated. This will be evaluated and the result will be stored in the y. Okay. See here. If the bit w is true, that means after evaluating this total expression w, if you get the result as 1, then x will be evaluated. So y is assigned the value of x. This x may be a single bit or else some expression. That means this expression will be given to y. So if this expression w is 0, if z is an expression or a single bit, that one correspondingly z will be going to this, that expression of that single bit may be going to y. Okay. W is false, y is assigned the value of z. Y is assigned the value of z. Okay. This y will be assigned a value of which is at z. So generally this seems to be like a multiplexer. Okay. And z onto y. W is the control signal. Okay. So next here you see here you have a flag. Here you have a flag. That means here if the address 1 is equal to address of 2. Okay, address 1 is equal to address of 2. Why we are using this? This will be performing bitwise comparison, bitwise equality, right? This is right. This is bitwise equality. So what I am doing is I am comparing bit by bit. If it is true, then this flag value will be 1. This flag value will be 1. This is a 1-bit binary, so this 1 will be going to this flag. If this address is not, it is 0. Okay, flag is going to have 0 value there. Okay, next we can also have the 0 flag. If we have a byte, that means 8 bits. So all this will be negotiated, and after that it will be going 0 will be going to the 0 flag. So all the bits are ORed. What does it mean? That means I will be evaluating. That means I compare a of compare in the sense there will be AND operation. That way there will be OR operation. There will be OR operation between a of 0 and a of 1. We will get one result. Next, the result what I get, I will be comparing that with the a of 2, and I will get one result. Or I will perform an OR operation between the both. Now the result what I get, I will be ORed with a of 3, and finally I will get a result. If that result is 1, I will assign 0 flag 0. If that result is 0, I will assign value 1 to the 0 flag. Okay. So 0 flag is set if the result is 0 only. Okay. The result is 0 only. Okay. When the 0 flag will, when will be the 0 flag 1? 0 flag will be equal to 1 only when when we perform bitwise OR operation, it has to result a value of 0. When here if it is 0 means this one has to be executed. If here we get a 1 means this value will be executed. That will be assigned to the 0 flag, right? Now we have assign C is equal to S question mark A colon A semicolon B. Here this C is a net, right? So net C is connected to A if S is 1. So that is the thing what we have done so far. If S is equal to 1, then value of A will be going to C. If S is 0, else it is connected to C will be given a value of B. It seems to be just like a 2 by 1 marks, right? Okay. Using this assign with this ternary operators, we can write small ALUs also within a single statement, right? Assign that D is equal to F is the function, right? F is a function which is used to choose the particular function. If F is add, it will be performing A and B, arithmetic operation, arithmetic addition between A and B bits. If F is a subtractor, it will be performing this operation, subtract. And if F is a complement, then it is going to perform complement of A and complement of B, right? Okay. If if you assign, see here, just like this is just like ALU, right? By using the simple ternary operator, we can nest, we can use the many number of ternary operators. We can nest it. Okay. So how to solve a nested one? You have to see. So this is the assign. O is equal to, just like a mux you see here. If the selection bits S is a 2-bit selection line. If it is of 0 0, the output is I of 0. If the selection bit S is 0 1, the value of output will be I1. If the selection bit line S is 1 0, okay. So just when we want to evaluate, first we have to move from right to left. We have to move from right to left. Okay, see here. First, what we are doing is, if the selection line is 1 0, if it is true, that means the selection line is matched and S is 1 0 and this is also 1 0. So which one has to execute? I2 has to execute. If selection line is not 1 0, then I3 has to execute. After that, we have some value. Okay, we have some value here overall, right? Now we will compare this. We will compare this S with 0 1. If it is okay, then I1 will be executed. If not, this thing, what value we got, that will be executed. So we get a one value here. So that value will be evaluated. If this one is true, it has to give I0, and if not, the value what we get from total this thing. After evaluating all these things, we get a value. That one has to go to the assigned value of 0. Okay, the same description is mentioned here. Okay. So we have the programs you can see, and we also have at last finally operator precedence. From this operator precedence, you can see here in the operator precedence, first we have the highest priority to the unary operators. Next we have the binary operators, and next we have the ternary operators. In the binary operators itself also, the highest priority will be for this. Okay, later for plus and minus, and later right shift and left shifts, and next equality, then relational operators greater than or equal, and then we have this equalities. Next relational operator, these are the highest priority to the lowest priority. It has to perform first these operations and then this and this and at last the ternary operators. Okay, by that we have closed the operators. Please go through it once and revise once. Okay, so we have some examples for this also with the help of unary operators. The order based on the operator precedence. Okay, q minus r plus 1 means first we will be performing r will be subtracted from q and then with the s. After that we add for s. First precedence is okay. So you can go through this. Okay. Okay, see you in the next class.